Hello, welcome back to another Models by me. We're going to continue looking at naval aircraft for a little bit. If you've seen that little trend of mine at the moment of looking at naval aircraft, we're going to continue that with the Revell Supermarine Walrus Mark 1 in 72nd scale. So we'll do this in the usual manner. We'll have a look at the outside of the box, then the contents, then the instructions, and then the sprues. So a little history on the Walrus itself. It first flew in 1933, designed basically to be launched off catapults as like a fleet spotter, and partly before like radar really took over. Was then introduced physically into the naval service in 1935, and was produced all the way up till 1944. Some users of the aircraft were using it all the way till 1958, so not too bad, like nearly the 60s, and for something that's slightly Second World War, beg your pardon. Eventually this was more used for air-sea rescue, any downed pilots or lost crew members. This will be sent out to go retrieve them. And a couple of machine guns to defend itself. You've got the forward one there, and there's another guy hiding just back there. Equally, if they, when it did find a lost crew member or seaman that had been shot down, pilot, they normally have this, bring this thing up to the dinghy, and then it'll hop into one of these at the back, or back or front. So with that, let's get on with this unboxing video. Starting with the outside of the box. So, typical blue box Revell. So we've got all the details down the side, 1/72, width, length, width, that's the fuselage, the circle. Aircraft illustration, yeah, you get the rest of that. Model Zone sold this for £5. Ironically, I think this is how much I picked it up for as well, weirdly. But we've got a nice lovely artwork of a walrus about to get shot down. The reason I say shot down is because if you look carefully, yeah, I think that's supposed to be a 0. Sorry mate, you ain't going to survive this one. So, let's have a look at the side. So, detail, we have loads of squibbly lines because its camera's decided not to focus. There we go. A little bit of history on that. Pause if you want to read it. Bring it down here so the glare's not there. 3 crew figures, detailed engine. Yep. Removable propeller. So if you want spinny propeller, this has an option for it. 2 machine guns. Undercarriage can be built both extended and retracted. Yes, despite this being a float plane, it has landing gear. So you can have this literally on wheels or on floats. Is that a machine gun face? You know, like the good old face palm, but instead of palm of your hand, it's a butt of the machine gun. Anyway, got a couple of nice pictures of the actual plane itself. This side, so we got a couple of representations of the decals you're going to get with this one. Skill level 4. That's just how many parts are in there, so it says it on the back here in a minute. But we've got Revell, 72nd, product code, and the front box art again. This side, some of the paint you're going to need, barcode, some of the details of this plane, and a bit more. This side is identical to the other side. Okay, and the underside, where Revell do the usual thing and advertise other planes or other kits they do. So, one of those big guys. It doesn't tell you the scale on these, unfortunately. So, big transporter, salamander. So we've got a really big plane, a really small one with no propeller or no engine, F-18 Hornet, Apache, and a Eurocopter 145. Advertising all their stuff, their product range, and the parts basically contains. So skill level 3 is up to 100 parts, and skill level 4 is up to 150. Wait, really? This kit has over 100 parts in it. I doubt that. Maybe 50 at a push. Definitely not 100. Anyway, we'll have a look at that. Kind of, right now. So, contents, let's have a look what's we got in here. We have a baggie. A sellotaped baggie with all your parts in it. Definitely nowhere near 100 parts on that. Yep, that's it. And we have the instructions, and somewhere in the instructions. Aha! We have decals for Fleet Air Arm, so that's just Navy version, okay. And the French naval version, plus the common, it's got all the footsteps, all the footways. Let's put you on top of there, because despite the age of this kit, the original kit was 60s, I think it was 62 or 63, so it's lasted a fair while. This one is a bit more modern, I think it's 90s re-release, so yeah, not too bad on that one. What we got here? Safety advice. Please read these rules. No. Instructions. So we got the old style Revell, so it's A3 bits of paper folded in half and then just slotted together. So we got a lot of history on the Walrus, so pause if you want to read that. Can fly up to 135 miles per hour. Not too bad. Have provisions for light bombs under the wings. Really? Never knew this thing carried bombs. Literally, I've only ever saw this as like something that's normally on battleships, cruisers, like the catapult launch thing it was on about, and air-sea rescue. Never knew this thing carried bombs at all. Okay, let's have a look at the inside. We have... Read before we start. No. You can if you want. When you see language, just pause over it. Find part. Snip and... or knife part off. File it away. Use sellotapes, rubber bands, or pegs to hold the wings together. Reverse tweezers to paint stuff. And paint more stuff. Okay. I'm guessing this is what this refers to. Yep. So, next page. Drop the rest of that there. Decal, glue, no glue, option, ×2. Clear plastic. The whole one piece that's in this kit. Repeat the same for the other side. See if that one actually pops up at all. Illustration of assembled parts. Detach with a knife. Let parts dry and use tape. A bit of safety, health safety better. Alright, let's open up the instructions to a paint guide. So, for those who aren't aware, Revell, when you get to these instructions, let's pick the inside of the fuselage here. it will tell you to paint all this in H and paint the inside of this side H. What is H? Well, here it is. Of course, it's a mixed. It is a mixture of yellow, sea green, and stone grey. Or if you got Umbro 78, which is interior greeny grey, it's interior greeny grey Umbro 78. They got a couple here. Tank grey plus greyish blue, greenish grey, and oh, there's a. If you don't like mixing your paints, cheat. Go see if you can find instructions somewhere else that says this colour is this paint pot. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of the instructions. So we've got all the parts listed here, and I'm going to pause this so I can count them. Okay, I didn't go and count every single bit there, but what I did was just look for the highest number of part, because logically you would have part 1, 3, 5. Crew members, we can do jelly, baby! Anyway, start with the lowest number and you make your way to the highest number. And the highest I could find is the clear plastic, which is 58. There it is. That was on the back here, isn't it? No, it's not. Aha! Skill level 4. Skill level 4. So 3. More demanding models with up to 100 parts. Kits with up to 150 parts for more experienced modelers. This has 58. Revell, you don't even follow your own rules. Or is it because it's a biplane? Possibly because it's a biplane. So, paint guide. How to paint up a jelly baby. Next, glue jelly babies onto your seats. So you have pilot plus 2 gunners. Do that 3 times and then assemble onto the fuselage. And that's it. Right. This bit's for the upper wing, which would be like the fuel tank and the bit to attach the plane onto, like the lifting part. Paint either. This would be the underside, which is E if you're doing the Royal Navy and F for the French Navy. And the same again here for the engine, or the engine. So, conveniently, this also says top. So that goes towards the top. After this bit, it then completely ignores the fact you've got to put the structure on it, and you do the engine. So, glue the extra piece. This actually is a part of the nacelle here. So yeah, glue the nacelle onto the engine, and if you want spinny propeller, do not glue. So you glue that to that, but do not glue that to that, but you put that through to that, which you need to glue on. Glue that to that, wait for that to dry, and then push that through the engine, through the bit of the nacelle, and then glue into this little plug on the back. If you want a spinny propeller. If you don't want a spinny propeller, glue that to that, to that, to that, ignore that. Now we're back to the nacelle in question, where this also has an arrow on it. So yeah, you put B into the back there and A into the front. Conveniently they are labelled, because as it shows here, the struts are in an awkward position, and the reason for that is the engine is actually slightly off canter to the rest of the plane, and that's to counteract the. I literally had the word in my. I'm going to say centrifugal force. I'm hoping I'm correct there. I might be wrong, but I think it's centrifugal force, where this lot, the engine and the propeller are spinning, and due to that motion, it wants to go a different direction thanks to that. So if you counteract that with the engine off to one side, it counteracts the motion of the propellers. there's loads of different ways people have done to do that. Like the Mustang, for example, if you look at the Mustang, the tail is actually to one side of the fuselage. It's not dead in the middle. It's actually off to one side. And one of the Italian planes, I can't remember which one, but their wing on one side of the fuselage is smaller than the other side. Yeah, just one of those little useless facts I've picked up. So back to the engine again. So you glue the engine onto the nacelle. There we go. Oh yeah, I missed this bit. Glue the front of the nacelle over these struts onto the main part of the strut nacelle. Tail surfaces, get it all glued in with all the additional struts. Floats. You could probably cheat and just glue those two together ×2. Good, I'm the same up here with the pilot and rear gunner. Next step. You can have the hatches open or closed. Which, let's just jump back at the page. Oh no, it does tell you the two gunners are optional. So if you want the hatches closed, or just don't want to put the pilots in there, leave them off. But if you want the hatches open, you will... Yes, if you want the hatches open, that one needs to go on the back there, and just ignore the front one. But if you want them closed, you put the front one on, but the rear one, you have to cut it in half, glue it back together, and then put it on top. And there's a little hole just here for it to like fit in. If you got it open, because it like slides backwards. You just fill that back in. After that, you put the engine on top and the canopy on. Hey. Right. Wings. All 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I love they put the separate steps on each wing. Then glue the wings onto the central piece. Yay. You can see what's coming. 18, 19. Glue the wings and the struts and everything together. Yay. It's not that bad. As I say, you got the two individual ones here. The ones in the middle you've already done because it's the engine nacelle and that's already there. And then 2 on the other side. Plus one additional one on the insides here and here. I forgot those 2. And then glue the machine gun on the front. To be honest, how I would do this bit, definitely glue that together and let it dry. Let it dry solidly. And then pretty much as it says here, start with that wing in there, put the strut in, put that wing in, put the strut in, and then start at this side, and then glue those 2 on, then that one, then into the middle, that one, and then those. I suppose you could cheat. Start with the middle one and then just work outwards. Then just use a bit of tape just to keep everything together. Glue the floats on, and then the rudder / sea rudder, as opposed to airplane rudder and tail wheel. The tail wheel on this is actually solid aluminium. And yeah, while it was in the water, it acted like a ship rudder, so... And then say a couple of extra floats. Oh, that's already done that bit. Landing gear up. So strut goes straight into wheel, and then wheel strut goes into that hole. Support arm goes into that one, and that little notch just there. Same with that side. Nope. On to this bit. If you want the landing gear down, you use this part. Glue that on, glue the support arm on, And then the wheels. There's the same the other side. And how it should look assembled. After all that, then you put the rear machine gun on. And optionally, once painted, rigging guide. Which actually doesn't look too bad. That's not a bad rigging guide. On the back here, we have the British Pacific Fleet, Japan 45. So this is actually the one on the front cover. Yep, the one on the front cover. The different colours there. Or do you want to go post-war and use the French version? I love how 13 is a decal. They put a decal over the window here. Anyway. So, okay, that's the instructions all done. Almost like technical mishap. My stand decided it was going to keel over, and then the legs decided they're just not going to stick together anymore. Alright, so let's have a look at the sprues. So, start at the top naturally, so let's have a look at the wings. So, wings are out of focus. That's better. So, quite basic, it's quite an old kit, so the level of detail ain't going to be that great. But we've got recessed lines for the flaps, that's good. Nice ribbing for the fabric covered wings. Same with the tail surfaces, other wings. Front top piece in the middle, that's quite nice. There's a bit of the nacelle. And the hatches. So you'd open this one up, fold them in half and just stick them in the fuselage somewhere. And here's the one that is cut open. Or half opened. That should be a little window there as well. I kind of know my Walrus. So, not too bad, that one. Underside, there's nothing because it's all going to be the same. Or it's not going to be the same, it's going to be the interior of this, and you're not going to see the interior of the wings because the wings are glued together. Next piece. The clear plastic. Which, let's bring you up. Let's put a sticker jelly baby under here, let's have a look. How clear are you? And actually, that is not too bad. You can just about make out the detail. Let me bring you more into focus here. There we go. More into the actual. Yep, so yeah, to a point you can actually see quite clearly through that. So clear plastic, fairly clear, and just the one very loose piece of it. Next sprue, we have more wings, so pretty much the same again there. And those holes go straight through into here, and there's nothing there. Your machine guns, 2 Vickers Ks, which are not too badly moulded. There's the rudder slash tail wheel. Nacelles, nothing there. Propeller is fairly basic. Not too bad. Wheels are basic as anything. There's literally no detail there. The detailed engine. This was a feature, remember. And yeah, quite nicely detailed engine. Now the bit we've all been waiting for. Jelly babies. Semi-nicely detailed. You can see some detail there. That gunner has no legs. Considering where the seat's supposed to go, yeah, this would be surprised if they were able to mould legs on him and get it to fit, but there's barely any detail there. I'm trying to look between both the video and the actual sprue itself, and Nope, nothing there. The underside should technically be nothing there. No, only the struts, so that's not so bad. But yeah, these guys they're jelly babies. There's not really anything there to say what the jacket, what's the life vest. So, and is that supposed to be a scarf round their necks here? What is that? Jelly babies. So, not too bad, but yeah. Last one. We'll go on the outside, which is the fuselage. So, quite nice. Raised panel lines, unfortunately. Recessed window. Yes, that's the window. So this bit's not too bad because the canopy to get it in slides backwards. So the side windows actually slide backwards. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's there. It's represented. Parts for the struts to go into. The wing. Tail. We've got raised panel lines again, but the fabric's not too bad on the back here. Kind of. You can just about make out the ribs underneath. Let's have a look. So we've got the other two. We've got two side floats. There's barely anything on there. They're pretty plain. Couple of the struts, thin and flimsy, and the other side of the fuselage, which is identical. Now, are we all ready for the interior detail? Because this will be absolutely not surprising whatsoever. There's nothing in here. No detail whatsoever. So, and that's it for the sprues. All over 100 of them. Let me put this away and final thoughts. So, final thoughts on the Walrus here. It's quite a basic kit. I'd say it's an early 60s, so level detail isn't going to be that great. So you got the raised panel lines, but it's an okay kit. It goes together fairly well, and yeah, this is one I've actually made. In fact, I made one of the Matchbox originals of this one. Hence the reason why I kind of know so much about it, because I also put a full interior into this. So I cut the windows out, I made the full lot of interior with all the side panels, and yeah, I did the full interior of the radio as well. That was an experience. That's the first time I did that as well. First time I ever did that. But yeah, this plane goes together fairly well, fairly nicely. The wings, typical biplane problem, trying to get the two wings to line up. It goes together fairly well, because if you put this bit in the middle here let it dry, and then worry about the rest of it, it kind of goes together well. I think the Matchbox one, the holes on the side here for these rear struts weren't properly, it didn't line up, or they weren't properly there, so unfortunately I couldn't wait fully for it all to dry, because I had to put the wings on and rush it all together. But yeah, this is actually quite a pleasant little kit. Skill level 4, no, I'll probably say more of a 2. 2 or 3, definitely not 4. So yes, at some point I will get around to actually making this one, because I say it's a lovely kit, and I will be making this one. But similar to the other one, which I put an interior in, no, I will not be putting a full interior into this one again. Well, other than just around the cockpit. But this one I will be making with the wings folded, because for some bizarre reason I want to make this with the wings folded. Storage space on the ships, fold the wings in half. So that involves basically, it's already kind of there, because the middle bit up here stays there. These top wings just fold backwards, and these lower wings fold backwards, and it basically where the wing connects into the fuselage, it's where it folds up. It's only like half of this lower wing before it hits the flap here. Does it it folds up and over. So yeah, a little bit of conversion required there, but that's definitely going to be a while before I get around to doing that. Probably a Christmas project. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Comment below, have you made this one before, and have you had any issues with this, or just like me, it's a fairly lovely kit to put together. And subscribe for the next one, where we will continue the Navy theme. Kinda. You'll see on the next one. Thanks, bye!